Now, you have just a week to conclude negotiations with the government. That is the caution from the Greater Accra regional leadership of the Pre-Tertiary unions to national leaders. NAT, NAGRAT and CCT Ghana have in the past few weeks been on the negotiation table with the government over non-payment of the allowances. Despite ongoing engagement between government and national leadership of the three teacher unions, the regional executives have organized a press conference this morning to register their dissatisfaction about the slow pace of progress of the negotiation. James Aveji was at a press conference and filed this report.
About a month ago, the national leadership of these three teacher unions, NAT, NAGRAT, as well as CCT Ghana, picketed the National Labour Commission over same concerns. They presented 9 demands to the NLC as well as government, 3 of them including the demand for the release of the rest of the teacher laptops were granted by government, as the National Labour Commission directed the teacher unions to call off then ongoing strike. Listen to National President of CCT Ghana, King Ali Audu, over what the rest of the demands are.
These are the 6 issues we are going to negotiate. Continuous professional development allowance. Currently, we are receiving 1,200. The teachers' unions are asking for 3,000. Deprived area allowance for our colleagues that are self-posting to deprived areas. We are asking for 20% basic pay for them. Rent allowance. 2, transport or commuting allowance. 3, utility subsidy allowance. Yes.
A month on today, Monday, the Greater Accra regional leadership of the three teacher unions says they have revised the rest of these 6 allowances into 4.
For the avoidance of doubt, the allowances we have been calling for over the past 15 years were many. However, due to several considerations in line with good faith, we have reduced them to 4, which include the following: deprived area allowance, the extra assessment allowance, book data online support allowance, and upward adjustment of the CPD allowance. Despite this gesture of good faith by the unions, government has not realized the need to appreciate and demonstrate same. This adamant posture of government will no longer be tolerated in the face of these harsh economic pressures.
The leadership are calling on government to immediately address these concerns.
We are saying, not to be underestimated in any way, that we wish to re-echo that we have become inundated with deliberate reluctance, complacency, and aloofness by the employer, a behavior which we cannot contain any longer. Consequently, we are giving the employer up to May 13, 2024, to, as a matter of urgency, address our grievances. We wish to state emphatically that should the employer fail to address our grievances on or before May 13, 2024, we shall not hesitate to call on leadership to appeal to heaven with the utmost alacrity. And I repeat, we wish to state emphatically that should the employer fail to address our grievances on or before May 13, 2024, we shall not hesitate to call on leadership to appeal to heaven with the utmost alacrity.
They have also given a 1-week ultimatum to their national leadership to fast-track the negotiation on these 4 allowances. They say that if that is not done by May 13, they will take a crucial decision on the matter.
Let me clarify it. The ultimatum here is being given to our leadership, the national leadership, that anything they come to tell us after 13th of May, this particular month, we are not going to welcome it. And so they will also have to sit up and do what is needed, because the members on the grounds, if I tell you the burning spirit in them. It will not be like the picketings that we have been making. And people think that it's only when we resort to strike. No, we are not going to tell the world. That is why we summed it up as saying we will appeal to the heavens. And when that appeal comes in, people will get to understand what we are communicating to the world.
Ultimately strike?
That is the guess people are making, but we have a lot of ways to go about how
you go to court.
Court is one of the possibilities, but we still appeal to God. Our appeal to heaven is a broad statement. We want people to uncover it through critical thinking, and we shall get there.
Thank you. So that Mr. Boateng, he is the regional secretary for the Ghana National Association of Teachers in the Greater Accra region, giving government 1 week, 13th of May, to fix their challenges or risk what they call an appeal to heaven. As to what that means, we do not know yet. From the Nat Hall here in Accra, my name is James Harvey.
Well, joining me in studio is the Regional Secretary for NAT, Peter Boateng, and Henry Tete Afi is NAGRA, the Regional Chairman, Greater Accra. And we also have the National General Secretary of NAT, Thomas Musa, joining us via Zoom. Grateful to you, gentlemen. Good afternoon. Now, let's start from the studio. This action that you've undertaken, does it have the blessing of your national leadership? Let me start with you, Chairman. General Secretary.
Thank you very much. Yes, we have the support and blessings of our leadership. We have monitored what they are doing. They've not kept us out of every discussion that is going on. We've been reading, we've been following, we've been picketing, we've been doing everything. So we are very much aware of how the proceedings are being driven. But then that also forces us to let them know the intricacies on the ground. Because if they are up there, sometimes when we break any form of links as to what is happening on the ground, just opposing that with what they are also bringing us, it becomes a problem. So they are very much aware, and we have their support in what we are doing.
But if you have their support and they are in negotiation with government, is it that you're not receiving favorable responses or reactions from government, and that's why you think you need to then give this, in quote, fire to them?
Yes. Thank you, and thank you to your viewers. There is a slow pace in the negotiations that is going on.
Okay.
It's not that government is not coming to the table. Government is coming to the table, but the pace at which negotiation is going, to we the union leaders and then to the members, we think is not what we want. And looking at the time frame, which at every point in time we miss the timelines that are given, it gives us a cause to worry. And so we are getting the push from our members because we are directly with them on the grounds. We are getting the push from them, and that is why we are also pushing our national leaders to put some fire in the negotiation that is going on.
Okay.
Because the last time, after we went on strike, and then Labour Commission, through the court, compelled us to come back to the classroom. We went to the classroom. We were given the 2nd of May for negotiations to complete and bring the outcome to the Labour Commission. As at 2nd May, no conclusion has been made. We have been given 19th June again. And as we sit here, we cannot tell if that 19th June timeline will be adhered to. And so we have to make some effort at our level to push government to hurry up with its negotiation so that this dilly-dallying with the negotiations will not continue any longer. So national leadership is aware of what we are doing, and we are supporting one another in these discussions.
Again, just to refresh the memory of our viewers, what issues are you fighting for with the government?
So we are requesting for 4. There were several of the issues that we were looking at, which we have narrowed them to 4. One is the deprived area allowance. You know, teachers are teaching in typical rural settings with conditions very difficult. Such teachers need to be motivated. So we have been advocating for deprived area allowance for years now. Government has turned deaf ears to it. The teachers' work does not only end in the classroom, which is the 8 to 4 regular work settings. No. During weekends, we are marking. We are setting questions. We are assessing students. Holidays, teachers are carrying out activities at home. All these things need to be compensated. So we are asking for extra assessment allowance. This is the second one. The third one, research is the driver of education. There cannot be any effective educational system without research. We are engaged in research, data usage, and the rest. We are asking for government to support us with an allowance to that effect. Then, continuous professional development. For the past 3 to 4 years, we have been taking 1,200 Ghana cedis a year. If you break it down, it is 100 Ghana cedis every month. It is woefully inadequate.
Okay.
And we are asking for an upward adjustment to that one too.
Okay.
I think these four are not something that we cannot do as a nation.
Secretary, amongst these four, which ones are tied into your conditions of service? Which, of course, you can go to your employer and say, you promised to give me ABC, you are not doing it.
Thank you very much. The most funny thing is that the conditions of service itself has outlived its usefulness, because since 2023, we've been calling for new conditions of service, which we have not had any solution to. So the existing one, which used to be there, and I believe that not until a new one is created, we shall still be following what we used to have. You realize that...
So what you used to have is from which...
Had this deprived community, deprived area allowance.
From which year?
We started the last one from 2020 to 2023.
Okay.
Exactly. So when that one expired, somewhere in February last year.
Okay.
But the point is that I am not that old, neither am I so young. I've had 25 years working experience as a teacher.
Okay.
And before I joined, this deprived area allowance had been on the table for so many years.
Okay. But it's been on the table is different from part of your service.
It has been part of
your
then
conditions.
anytime negotiations are being made, it constitutes a segment of it. Because
so it's part of your conditions on which you were employed.
Yes, everybody, because we were even, as at that time, told, I enjoyed study leave with pay because I taught in a deprived community, and after 3 years, I qualified to go to the university. When those who were in the urban and peri-urban centers had to teach for 4 years or more before they could get the study leave. So it's something that is there. But now that study leave issue is now out of place. It's not being considered. But if you come to look at where some of our colleagues are working, and if you are a regional secretary, you pick up, you drive to a place, and you see where teachers have to cover before they get to school. And when they get to school, the conditions there, the classrooms in which they are working, juxtaposing that one with their cost of living and everything, you ask yourself, are we being fair with these people? Is it a crime to choose to be a teacher? Okay. And so if we are making demands about things which are very legitimate, and people still see that it's not anything that we want to talk about, then our quest of trying to ensure quality education will be a sort of discrimination, which we don't want to see. Because
so this is not the case that you are actually demanding something out of vacuum, but you are demanding the operationalization of something that is in your condition of service.
The new ones will constitute the data online, these allowances that we are calling.
So for the deprived area is in there.
It has been, nobody can deny.
Okay.
And the last one, upward adjustment we are calling, it's something that is there, but as he rightly put it, to say that a professional teacher takes
No, let's take it one by one. Let's take it one by one.
Yeah.
So the first one is in your conditions of service.
The deprived, yes.
Number two, is it in there?
Number two is a new one.
Is a new one you are asking for?
Yes.
Exactly.
Number three is a new one we are proposing.
Number three is the one, the
book
research.
data online support allowance, the research allowance.
That's a new thing you're asking
yes,
for.
Yes, because...
So if someone asks you, what sort of research do you do to demand for this payment? What will be your response to them?
That's a very funny question. Because the least a teacher does is to go online. Because now the minimum you can do when you need information is to pick your phone, pick your laptop, go online, and search through the various search engines for information.
Okay.
So if you are asking for data or online support allowance, it is not far-fetched.
Okay, so you call it data and
online support allowance.
And how much are you looking at government paying you per month?
At the time, we were looking for 20% of our basic salary for that one. And then government is offering something very ridiculous.
Okay.
Because it's still under negotiation, we don't want to come out with what they are offering. That would be bad faith on our side.
Okay.
So we don't want to go into that one. The upward adjustment of the CPD, the continuous professional development.
Yeah.
I mean, where will it be that you want this educational system to progress? And the teacher who is the pivot of this service, you are paying him 100 Ghana cedis a month for his personal development, 1,200 in a year. I mean, it's so unfair.
Okay. Let me go on to Zoom now and speak to the General Secretary of NAT to find out from him where they are in the negotiation. Grateful to you, Thomas Musa, for joining us here. Now, you are on the negotiation table with government. What is government telling you?
So thank you very much. Good afternoon to your viewers, your good self, and to my brothers in the studio. He who sits by the fire feels it. And so we cannot take it away from the expressions of anger and all those frustrations that we are all witnessing across the country these days. These are issues that have been on in our collective agreement for the past 15 good years. In 2009, the deprived area allowance was agreed upon, signed in our collective agreement, and the percentage attached, it was 20. That promise was never honored. 15 years down the line, they never paid anything to it. Okay. I can tell you, look, I have done extensive work in the island communities because I have been doing child labor work for the past 20, 25 years. Being the Volta Lake up to Makango areas, the teachers die on daily basis on the lake because they travel there without the, how they call this life vest on them and all that. They die on daily basis. Nobody is talking, nobody is saying anything about it. Does it mean that the teacher's life doesn't matter to us? So when we are talking about the deprived area allowance, we are talking about areas where they are hard to reach. And people go there only on elections day. The only public servants you find in those areas are teachers.
Okay.
And we are saying that the teacher's life matter. Teachers also are human beings. So when you're talking about human rights, the teacher's right also is equally important and must also be compensated for. This thing we signed in our collective agreement, it has not been honored for the past 15 years. And in fact, in the year 2019, when we were negotiating for the new collective agreement, the promise to us was that this time around, a new committee should be constituted and get it, then they will get it done. Look, 3 years down the line, this one has expired. We sponsored the committee to go and do a new work. When the committee's work was done, instead of they implementing it, they've come back again. They said we should constitute another committee. Which profession can you treat that way?
On this deprived...
This same thing.
Okay.
This same thing. Which profession can you treat that way? Which profession? Then I heard you asking a question. Let me now move to the area of the deprived the professional development allowance. You see,
so just before you move there, on the deprived community allowance, what is the percentage now?
Nothing. When we went to negotiate, the next collective agreement was signed in August 2020. We started it in 2019 and we concluded in August 2020. And when we were about to conclude, they indicated to us that we should allow them and agree with them that a new committee be put in place, and within 1 year they will conclude the document. Then we operationalize the document. We agree with them.
Okay.
We had somebody from the Ghana Education Service who is the chairperson of the committee, and we have a member from the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. When the committee's work has been done, the work submitted to them, they came back to tell us that, look, a new committee should be constituted with all excuses given us. Is that the way you want to treat teachers in this country?
Okay.
We are saying that is not the way to go. So when they are agitating, they are talking about, they sit by the teachers sit by the fire. So we, the leaders, we've already told we told government. Please let me quickly go. You ask a very important question that about the professional development allowance. You see, each teacher receives 100 Ghana cedis a month. As of the time that the money was given, the goods and services that money can buy 4 years ago, the 100 Ghana cedis 4 years ago, today is 40 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
My brother, take note of that too. Take note. What I am saying is this. The goods and services that the 100 Ghana cedis can buy 4 years ago, today that same 100 Ghana cedis can buy goods worth of 40 Ghana cedis. So the money has depreciated by 60 Ghana cedis. And the additional, the information we need to give here is that 100 Ghana cedis is not for the teachers' personal consumption, no. It is for the work. The government is giving you 100 Ghana cedis every month so that you should upgrade your knowledge. Remember, teachers go into the classroom with 3 main knowledge. You need to get the cognitive knowledge, you need the cognitive, the affective, and the psycho. And because the teacher must satisfy these 3 areas, the government invests in the knowledge with which the teacher goes into the classroom with. So you are giving the teacher 100 Ghana cedis every month. And the teacher is supposed to do the CPD at least twice in a month. That's what they do. And one CPD is about 80 Ghana cedis. And they are supposed to do about 2 in a month. Now you are giving them 100 Ghana cedis. In those days, about 4 years ago, the 100 Ghana cedis 4 years ago, today is about 40 Ghana.
But how different is that? How different is that from the online and data support allowance?
I am coming to that place.
Okay.
You see, we are currently talking about digitization. Now, when a teacher writes the lesson notes and other related matters, you cannot transmit it online. Remember, these days, we have what we call portfolio development. Portfolio development being that, and when the NTC was, the National Teaching Council was established, one of the responsibility of professionalization of all teachers is that you need to be able to document what you are teaching. And because you need to document what you are teaching, you need to get the data, get data, do some kind of work, because whatever work you do, you will leave it behind in the school and somebody will come and work with it. And so you do what we call research to be able to develop portfolio that can impact knowledge and that also can stand the test of time.
Okay.
And you need data to get it done. And aside that one, like I've told you, the writing of lesson notes is not only done. It's not only done in the book. You can transmit it online and other related videos and all that. We use them. And so the question is that you need to support the teacher to get this particular done. Remember, I remember quite clearly during the time of COVID, all these things came up because education must not stop in the times in case we have an emergency.
Yeah.
So we must take note of that particular one. And the last one, which my brothers in the studio added, and I need to stress, is the issue of the extra assessment allowance. Look, we have what we call the working hours.
Musa, I do get all of that, but I'm asking that you are the table with government. Government meet you to negotiate this. What is government's posture? What is government saying that is necessitating your regional executives to also rise up to give you an ultimatum that May 13, if you do nothing, will take matters into hands?
Yes. Whatever happens at the table, they are aware. In fact, anytime we go to the Labor Commission, they come there. And we have been sounding these alarm bells, telling the government that these are things that, you see, the reason why the teachers are becoming agitated is that this same thing has been done for the past 15 years. Same thing. You see, government will come with these kind of excuses. Like, can we look at this one? Can we form a committee and all that? You see, and when you treat professionals in this particular way for a very long time, the moment a day comes and they say that this time around we will not agree. That is where we are. That the time is now. And so they are realizing that the things that government, the plans and the strategies that government has been adopting for the past 15 years to deprive what must be given to teachers, government is doing the same thing. And remember, you are dealing with the largest working force in Ghana. When you take the public service, teachers, we are about 70%. And we've always, they come and you have all kinds of excuses for them. Does it mean that their services are not appreciated? Take note. Let me put this also on record. Look, in Ghana today, by the statistics we have, 830,000 children are born every year. And if you give up to about 830,000 teachers by the figures that we have, are we saying that we don't need the teachers to bring them up? When there are no teachers, do you know what we are talking about? We'll be talking about child labor.
Okay.
We'll be talking about child prostitution and all the other related problems.
So if I understand you...
So for once, the teachers must be... Please let me conclude with the issue of the extra duty allowance that they raised. Let me conclude on that particular one. Just some few seconds. Look, the teacher is supposed to go to... The teacher's work starts from 8 o'clock. We have the contact hours and the working hours. The contact hours are hours within which the teacher will teach non-stop. And so from 8 to 6, from 8 to 2 o'clock, 6 good hours, the teacher will engage the student or the students in the classroom. Whatever happens in the classroom, the teacher will be held responsible. When we hear them always. And before this work starts, we also have the working hours. The teacher will come to school around 6 o'clock. Depending upon where you are coming, from.
Okay.
My brother, I believe that I want to believe that you have some teachers, you have some sisters who are teachers, or brothers who are teachers. Find out from them and they will tell yes, and they will tell you more. When they close, they will have to stay to work and all that.
Okay.
So all these things is what we are talking about.
So Musa, I do get the sense from you that government isn't being forthright with you in terms of meeting the demands with which you went to the negotiating table.
Exactly. That is where we are, and so we will continue to engage. And the teachers who sit by the fireside, certainly they will react.
But aside your teachers, those of us who are not teachers, we don't know what is government doing to you exactly at the negotiation table. Just so we understand.
Please, all that must be said. We've said it. All that must be said. We have moved from 17 allowances to 4. And we say that these 4 allowances, even of these 4 allowances, 2 are existing ones. Let me say even 3, because the CPD is an existing allowance. The deprived area allowance is an existing one. And the extra assessment one, it is something that was on the table, and always they will tell us, oh, can we look at it? I remember during the COVID time, it came up. So these are not issues that are new. They are issues that have been with us, and we always say that, look, let us compensate the teacher.
Okay,
the teacher
understand.
Also deserves better. But they sit by the fire, and the government must take note. And let me indicate this.
Musa, what I wanted to get from you, because I'm not at the negotiation table with you, so I wanted to understand. When you go to the table, what is government saying on these 4 proposals that you've made to government? You've mentioned along the line that government is saying you should form a committee. Is that all they are saying, or what exactly are they saying else?
They are committed to only 2. They are committed to only 2, and even that commitment, it comes so many conditions, of which it will not be in the interest of the teacher.
Okay.
And so that's the challenge. They are committed to only 2.
What are these 2?
Oh, let's leave it for now. They are committed to only 2, and the 2 comes with so many conditions.
Okay.
So you leave them. Maybe when we get there,
do I guess that the 2 is with the deprived area allowance, because you said it's already in there, and then also the continuous professional development allowance, because these are the 2 that you say are already in your conditions of service. So do I get a sense that these are the only 2 government says I'll still deal with it? I won't listen to the other 2 you're proposing.
No, the CPD, same old story. Sorry, the deprived area allowance. The deprived area now is same old story. It's same old story. But they have made some proposal to 2, and the remaining 2 is something they are saying they have their own concerns with, and which is something that is not sitting well with us.
Okay.
And these are things that have dragged on the negotiations. And the people, and when you see the teachers reacting, they are reacting because they've seen it before.
But what are these two that is causing you to drag this negotiation? What two are you talking about?
It is not the teacher unions that are dragging it.
Fair enough. So government and all of you are government is dragging it. I'm saying,
they will come and give.
I'm asking that what are these two elements out of your four that government is dragging its feet on?
That is what I have said. That let's leave it here for now. Let's leave the two items here for now. Let's leave the two items here for now. Okay. 4 items are on the table, and the two government made some commitment to it with some conditions of which we don't want to take it. Okay. And the other two they are asking us to drop, which we are not ready to drop. So this is where we are.
Okay, let me come in studio now.
So thank you very much.
No, stay with me. Stay with me. Don't go. Now, what exact decision are you going to take after May 13?
We want May 13 to come, and when we get to that point, we'll take that decision.
You've already sounded the alarm bells, and I see NAT to be a union with balls. So once you've given the indication that May 13, there's an action you're going to take. What action is that?
We don't want anybody to preempt and plan for what we want to do, so that we are holding those ones close to our chest. But we will make sure that it is a decisive one, and the impact will be greatly felt by everyone, including the politicians. Recently, you heard government praising itself that this year's WASSCE results or last year's WASSCE results was the best that we could find in the history of WASSCE. Who did that result? Who produced that result? Did any politician go to the classroom to teach any student? It is we teachers who brought those results up, for which they are taking the glory for or the credit for. So what is it that we are asking for that we cannot be given? I don't know whether you schooled in Ghana. If you schooled in Ghana, you would have noticed the life of some of your former teachers. Are you happy?
Well, I schooled in Ghana. I schooled in rural Ghana as well.
If you schooled in rural Ghana, you schooled in Ghana. Are you happy with the condition of your teachers?
No. But again, do I then get a sense that you're saying that the performance of the student will drop because
we are not saying so, but we are also saying that
you use that as a caveat. That's what I'm asking you.
I'm not saying that.
It means that
I'm only trying to say that
your teaching will drop.
If we have been able to bring credit or glory to government, what is due us must be given to us. And like we have been saying, for the past 15 years, some of these issues we have raised here have been on the table. Some of they have expired, we have renewed them, expired, renewed them, and the same things are being said and being done by government. So this time we don't want to go by that line.
Henry, I know that your trump card is we have laid down our tools. Apart from that, what else will you do?
That's the only thing.
No, Harry, let me bring it.
Peter.
Peter, exactly. Yeah, Peter. Now, Peter, if it gets there, May 13, after that day, what is it? You're laying down your tools, or like he's trying to explain, performances may probably drop. Performance can only drop when teaching is not effective. So which is which?
It's not. Thank you very much. It's not only teaching. Okay. And if you listen carefully, I said that we will appeal to heaven. That statement means more than just strike that people think we can do.
What does it mean?
We cannot be wicked to the innocent child of this republic. Okay. But I look at places that we mentioned deprived community. I was raised in a deprived community. I schooled in a deprived community. I taught in a deprived community. And so there is nothing about deprived community that I do not know. If you go to a place like Akonkonti in the Bono East, Techiman area there, come to Goso, that is a Ahafo region, and then you go to Chenchen Sibwoso, right? If you go to Chenchen Sibwoso, or 1,000 acre. I use 1,000 acre because somebody will ask, is it a Greek term or what? That is a community where the Agric department went and had 1,000 acre of cocoa plantation. And the people working there needed their children to go to school. And so a school was established there. And teachers were sent there to go and teach, and they are still teaching there.
Okay.
You ask yourself, we're thinking of strike, we're thinking of what? We are saying that if it comes and nothing is done, we are going to ensure that the lives of those people there are still worthy, that we need to ensure how they are doing. But as to what will come out of it, maybe our actions and their ramifications, people will interpret it to mean whether we are doing this or that. But as it is now, we are hopeful that our leadership will be given the needed results that we can tell the members. Because if a teacher teaches with a disgruntled heart, I do not know what the people will see. We were talking about the allowances. Please, let me just tell you that I am a French teacher. Okay?
Oh,
I'm a French teacher.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, monsieur.
Bonsoir.
If it is that I were to teach the French the way I was taught, our children will continue to run away from French classes. And I think most of you did not take French because you said your French teachers were so wicked. We have that title and we like it. It is because where we are today, it is easy to go there on the net and then get something to come and then support what you are doing. Even when you have the access or you have money to buy the data, look at the difficulties that we are going through with our data management and everything. We have it and we are suffering. Some do not even have electricity in the first place. They do not have any means. They even have to cover long distances before they charge their mobile phones and other things. So it isn't anything that we want to attach emotions. We are saying that these are real issues that if we do not see them, then we will need to appeal to our conscience. Because in the Labor Act, it says that we must teach conscientiously in our chosen profession. So if we are going to teach conscientiously, is it when we work out with a very destabilized personality, with our emotions heightened, all that? We cannot do it, and we must not allow that thing to go on.
If you listen to Thomas, it looks as though government is willing to agree with you on two of the four. If government does that, government goes ahead to say, I agree with you on 2, and takes away 2, what will you do?
We have come from 17 to 4. Why does government want to take away 2 out of the 4 again? Are we not contributing enough to this nation's development as teachers? And for that matter, we deserve the things that we have here. Is it too much to ask? If we believe that teachers are playing key role in the nation's development, 4 allowances, let us start from somewhere. We are not asking 100%, 50%, at least some percentage as a starting point. We can make progress. We appreciate that conditions are harsh. Government has said it many times that conditions are harsh, so we are not the ones who are saying it. But if they are, don't we also deserve what we need to be given as teachers? We are contributing enough to this nation, and we shouldn't let it look like teachers are becoming too notorious with the demands. From 17 issues, we have dropped to 14. What has been the government's contribution in these ones? We have been able to show good faith by dropping over 10 or more out of the 17. Okay. And we are left with 4. Please.
If I should add something. The 4 that we have.
A teacher watching us says, fortunately for me, none, and the none is in capital letters. None of my kids would dare make the mistake of becoming a teacher. Never again, with an exclamation mark. It says, brace. Don't encourage any of your family members to go into that poverty-ridden profession. Wow, that's a hard one from someone. He's been teaching in our area for long. He's impacted life, but this is what he's saying now. And I guess it's something
it resonates with all of us.
A lot of you share.
As you asked, if you look at the 4 points that we have raised, they are inextricably interwoven. We can't do away with one and begin to deal with the other.
Okay.
Why? Because if you are trying to see some form of upliftment in the life of the teacher in the deprived community, can he do so without data or having access to data? When the teacher in the deprived community feels that now, I can teach here, I don't want to go to Accra, I cannot go to Kumasi, I feel staying here, I can do online programs and then still be a par with my colleagues. Are we saying that the extra assessment, it is only people in Accra who are going to do it so that they will take So if you look at the 4 reasons, it took time and resources, everything to be able to put them together in a manner that when we are dealing with them, we deal with them in a flow, with that fluidity, so that at the end of the day, everybody realizes that, look, we now feel that this is not exhaustive, but we feel that with this, bearing in mind the austere economic measures that we are all facing and all that, we can, with good faith, go on with this so that at appropriate time, we add the rest. That is the rational model that we want to choose. But then if it is that government will choose and pick, then we will also dance to the rhythms that are being played.
Okay. When are the students supposed to write the BEC?
The students are supposed to already be somewhere in July, August.
July, August.
Yes, you
So
know
that's the immediate examination.
That's the immediate examination. Then I think immediately they finish, the WASI will also continue. You know, there has been some changes in the schedules for the 2 exams. So we are not even sure, as I sit here, I'm not too sure whether the timelines they have given, we are going to follow them. Because this year they've changed the time for the BEC, and they've also changed the time for the WASI.
Okay.
So we are not too certain about that. But that notwithstanding, we are committed to the work that we are doing. I have been in the teaching profession for the past 25 years.
So after May 13, we won't have the announcement that you are laying down your tools.
It's not only about...
You've said you love the kids. It means that you don't want to lay down your tools.
That is why we are here.
Okay. So you won't lay down your tools. That's out of the question.
That cannot be out of the question. It is one of the options that is available to us. As to whether that is what we are going to do, it is only when that time comes that we make that decision. But let it not be only said that it is only strike that we know. We have other forms that we can pick as teachers.
Other forms like?
We won't tell you. When we get there, because when we tell you, then you are going to plan ahead of. Why should I weaponize you against myself? It can be.
All right.
It can be.
I hear. Just before we go, Henry, what will be your final words to the government? So yours is Peter Boateng. Exactly. Yes, right. Peter.
So what I want to say to government is that we have had enough of trivializing matters of significance. You know, if you have a friend who will want to trivialize matters of importance, it is not worthy going along with such a person. We have been marginalized. We've been made to be looked at with subservience and moderation. But I can tell everybody that those who have already taken the pain that they will no longer teach, for us where we are, look at me here. I cannot go and start any other job apart from the teaching that I chose to be. I did not become a teacher by accident.
Okay.
It is what I chose to be. And so if we can, bearing in mind that the child has no offense in what is happening, it is by the negligence of you and I, because we are in leadership. And so if we fail them, and we are not ready to let that child go suffering.
All right.
So by 13th, if we do not hear, we believe that the heavens are beautiful places that we all want to.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Yes, Henry.
Okay. So what I want to let government understand is that today we are facing off in the teaching profession. But what they do to our demands today will influence the decisions that others will make towards this profession. And so if we really want to develop this nation and to have people committing themselves into teaching, just like your tester said, he or she is not going to encourage anybody who is close to him to become a teacher. That will not help this nation.
All right, thank you so much. Thomas, so what's your final word to the government as you continue the negotiation with them?
Yes, I think that we want to go by the cliche of the national security. But when you see something, you say something. We have already sounded an alarm bell that teachers sitting by the fire will react, and that is what we are seeing. The earlier we respond to their demands, the better for all of us. May God help us all and make our nation great and strong, and help our leaders to listen to the teachers. Thank you.
I'm grateful. Thomas Musa is the General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers. I'll go on break with this one. It says, I am battling with a life-threatening cardiac-related condition after inhaling a poisonous gas in the laboratory. I will not get any member of my family, including my kids, to go into the teaching profession. There's still a pause. We'll take a break here. We'll be back with more. Please do stay.